I'm on a quest to read every Star Wars novel ever written, because it is the ancestral birthright of my people. Today we're looking at The Crystal Crown by Tessa Gratton. This is a spin-off of The Acolyte, as I'm sure you can tell by the cover, set just a couple of years before the show, as I'm also sure you can tell by the cover. Adding a little bit of depth and backstory to some of the characters from the show, this book follows Jecki and Yord, as well as Master Sol and Yord's own master, as they take a trip to a planet called Selene, where a once-in-a-lifetime ritual is taking place. The Crystal Convocation is an ancient tradition on Selene where warriors compete to show off their own personal strengths, as well as to earn social status that will often result in them taking large positions of power later in life. However, as the convocation approaches, the Republic is also trying to interest Selene in joining its numbers, and a Jedi Master has a bit of a falling out with one of the Selenese higher powers. So, Master Sol, Yord, Jecki, and the other Jedi Master are sent to help smooth things over. Now, that's the inciting incident of the book, and I wish I could say that more of the plot was actually focused on that, or at least, directly related, but it kind of isn't. But I'll get to that in a second, because unfortunately, I thought this book was just okay. And that's a shame because I've really liked some of Gratton's other works, and I want to start with what I think did work in this, namely the characters. Gratton did a very good job adapting the characters from The Acolyte. It reminded me a lot of what I liked about Jecki in the show, and in particular really made me like Yord. In fact, it reminded me how much I liked Yord that I went and bought a Black Series figure of him. And the original characters aren't bad either. The book primarily follows Ros and Sidia Arthrist, two dynasty heirs who are participating in the convocation. They befriend Yord and Jecki, and they're both very charming. Sidia, in particular, I thought was very strong. She's fierce and bold and determined, and has a strong crush on Yord that she doesn't try to hide in the slightest. But of course, Jedi don't do attachments, so he has to very politely refuse her extremely blatant advances. Less strong though, however, was the third main character, Leo Graf, the heir to the legendary Graf family that we've now met through much of the High Republic. Leo is, I don't know, just a bit bland of a character. I can't say too much about them in general. Broadly, I can say that Leo is headstrong and confident and that they love their planet, but I don't think that that works itself into the plot very much. They seem to kind of change their motivation from scene to scene, and overall their story arc is one that I don't understand. I don't get what they were going for. And that's a part of the problem with the book, because Leo is the most important of the three characters, and in my opinion, the least likable. But even that importance is relative. See, the plot of this is that Jecki and Yord decide to participate in the Crystal Convocation. It's a way of sort of endearing the planet to the Jedi. It's a way of learning a bit more about their culture and customs, but it's also pointless. There's no real gain to succeeding in the convocation, but there's also no real consequence to losing at the convocation. Most of the book is about them just participating in tasks, a la something like the Goblet of Fire in the Harry Potter series, but none of it really has any purpose. They're just sort of wasting time instead of doing the important task that they were sent here to, which is diplomacy. And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fun separate from the main story arc, but I'm not lying when I say you get about 3/4 of the way through the book, maybe a little more, before you even find out what the actual plot is. It's kind of just a competition that happens for the sake of it, and I'm not really interested in whether or not Jecki or Yord wins the convocation. I don't care who wins the convocation, I want Jedi stuff to be happening. Like I said, 3/4 of the way through the book, and there still isn't even an antagonist. And even having finished the book, I'm not certain who the antagonist is. There's one clear contender, but the book clearly wants me to sympathize with them. And I don't want to say their name because of spoilers, but I don't know how the book wants me to feel. I don't know how I feel. I don't even know what it is that they did, really. Or I should say, I know what they did, but I don't understand why. Not just from the character's perspective, but from the books. It's just, it feels undercooked. There were other fun moments, though. I really like some of the scenes with Master Sol. He's another character I liked in the show, and I think that the author did a great job capturing him. And she also has a lot of fun with the fact that we know where all of their stories are going to go. There are a couple of references to what Jecki's going to do in the future that are always a bit bittersweet. I guess bittersweet is the wrong word. There's not a lot of sweetness. They're just bitter. They're just sad and tragic. Fortunately, I don't think that those are enough to outweigh an otherwise unimpressive book. The Crystal Crown gets a 4 out of 10.